My name is Alice Munyua. I'm the chair of the Kenya Internet Governance Steering Committee, which is under the Ministry of Information and Communication. So essentially from the government of Kenya, under the ministry. I'm here representing my permanent secretary as on the Government Advisory Committee of ICANN, and I'm the vice chair of the Governance Advisory Committee of ICANN. We've supported the dotAfrica application, the legitimate one from the African Union Commission, because we're a member state of the African Union Commission, and it's, I mean, essentially the African Union Commission is our organization, and so my ministry supported the application because the guidebook, the newgTLD guidebook, requires that for a geographic string that you have community support, and the community support in our case translates to the number of governments, 60% of governments supporting that application being a geographic name, and that's how it came about. So our ministry, our minister, Honorable Samuel Pugisho, has actually written a letter to ICANN and to the African Union Commission supporting the African Union Commission application. What it means, and I haven't actually looked at the applicant guidebook in detail, what it actually means in terms of official, in that it's when it comes to applying for a geographic string or a geographic new TLD, you have to have support from the community, and the community here actually translates into, you know, governments, the internet community, you know, and other stakeholders. Why the African Union Commission is the legitimate one is because it's the only organization that brings together African member states and that has the mandate to represent African member states in these matters. And so it's the only one that we recognize as the legitimate one, because our ministers have actually written and supported that application through the African Union Commission. We were not approached by the other one, so we have no idea what the other one is about. And that's why it's quite clear to us which is the correct one. Yeah. Quite well. Yeah, albeit, you know, I think I had actually mentioned when I first, you know, joined the, you know, started talking with the group that all of you, the dotAfrica team, was I think we were getting here late, but I think you've done quite a good job in terms of just sending out the, you know, the message, you know, and creating awareness. But I think there's more to be done because there's a lot of confusion out there. And I think the confusion is simply because many people don't understand ICANN processes. Many people from our continent especially don't understand ICANN processes. So there's an assumption that, you know, oh, you have two dotAfricas and they've all been, you know, approved, but the approval process is actually going to be rather long. With, you know, I suppose there's going to be a process that washes the list to ensure that it actually conforms to the requirements before we get down to approving it. And some of the requirements, for example, that I mentioned earlier was, you know, support from governments, especially when you're applying for a geographic stream. So I think, and that process is not understood. So of course, you know, the confusion around which is the dotAfrica. And so you're doing a good job in terms of just, and I think you need to do more in terms of just sending out the word out there, first explaining how the process is going to work, and then who dotAfrica really is.